Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Excuse my energy. If it's not there, just feeling under the weather right now. Anyway, let me get into this topic. As you guys know, there's this back and forth that's taking place in the media between Terrell Owens and Stephen A. Smith. And essentially, all of this was started when Terrell Owens liked a post about, at the time when he went on, the last time he went on ESPN First Take, where he essentially called Max Kellerman. He was basically referring to Max as being blacker than Stephen A. Smith. Now, maybe some of our younger viewers may not be aware of this, but this actually took place. So what we want to do, we want to quickly play what Terrell Owens had to say to Stephen A. Smith on that show and really what started all of this. And then we're going to come back. So take a listen to that there.
Everybody speaking up on behalf of Colin Kaepernick, but Colin Kaepernick. You the one person that don't have anything to say. You step aside while brothers and sisters who know that you were right to want to address police brutality, who know that you were right to want to address racial oppression, who know that you were right when you say that you didn't deserve to be blackballed and you didn't deserve to have your cause politicized. All of us are fighting on behalf of you, but you are the one that won't speak up for yourself. Do you have a problem with that?
Well, I think the thing is, in the black community, like I said, I'm in the streets. I hear what's going on.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
The thing is I think, Stephen A., you have a platform. It's okay to disagree, but it was the way you were going about it. It was almost like you were attacking him. And I think the thing with Colin Kaepernick and the way that things shifted right at the doorstep of this workout is just the transparency. You alluded to the document. As that related, I mean, as I was referring to it with the document, the waiver, again, like I said, when you insert language into something that's not standard, then obviously you have to take time to review those documents. And like I said, they weren't given adequate time to do that. And so to now insert that and then think that he was going to sign it right at the doorfront, then that's not fair. You giving him, if you're going to give him a fair workout, then give him a fair workout. He was allowed no media access. They were trying to dictate who his receivers were.
I have to stop you there. I have to stop you there. I am on the air right now listening to a Hall of Famer who I believe has had a multitude of opportunities to highlight unfairness that has been exacted from him. Did that stop you from accepting the challenge, knowing that you were walking into situations that were flagrantly unfair, that you were operating behind the eight ball at a disadvantage, courtesy of a system and an entity that obviously had a lot of power and influence to compromise whatever your aspirations were? You do it, I do it. There are people that sit up there. You ain't the only one that accused me of attacking him. I would ask you to recall what I said. What I said is that I have been supporting this man. What I didn't support was you sending, not you, meaning him, sending the message that everything has to be ideal and everything has to be fair in order for me to embrace the challenge to acquire what I have been behind the scenes through my camp telling everybody I want. If you don't want to work out, that's fine. If you think it's unfair and you want, and I know, Max, you want to get in, I'm going to bring you in. And you don't think it's fair, that's fine. And you want to get your lawyer, and your lawyer wants to stand up there and say, this waiver is an issue. We're ready to work out, but not until they alter this waiver, etc. That's different. But to not do the workout, to change locations, and then to go and give a speech to the media without taking any questions, any inquiry as to what's really going on, you are leaving others to surmise what the hell happened.
Can I answer that real quick?
Fair.
Tio, do you mind if I jump in, Tio?
Yes, before you do that, but
go ahead.
What I wanted is transparency, Stephen A. And that's like I've done it. I've had incidents throughout the course of my career, and then there have been times where I've gone into interviews where I've done an hour and a half, 2 hours of an interview, and then they break down and they edit, and then you guys get on the show, and there's a panel of people, and then they break down whatever clips that they show. They're not showing the entire hour and a half or 2 hours of that of that interview that I've done. So what he wanted was transparency for people to see the full workout, to see the full Colin Kaepernick. Again, you mentioned obviously Max is going to get in here, and like I said, I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. with what he's coming, with his commentary.
With all due respect, my brother.
I'm just saying, dog.
Wait a minute. Wait to finish.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna check you right now. You don't cross the line.
I'm just saying.
Time. Wait a minute. You don't cross the line. First of all, like I said, you, Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reed, any of y'all that want to debate me in front of black people and talk about what's best for black people, name the time and place, I'll show up. I don't want to hear, what's the definition of blackness? Is there a definitive definition of blackness? Why are you giving the impression that because I don't march lockstep with every single thing that Colin Kaepernick wants? Okay, excuse me. Hold on, wait a minute.
I'm not agreeing.
Wait a minute.
I'm not agreeing with everything that Colin Kaepernick has done.
So you heard what Terrell Owens had to say. So what happens? Terrell Owens then, he goes on Twitter and he likes a tweet that was referring to, basically that clip. And he goes on there and he likes a tweet. This was on about 2 days ago. He said, facts, right? And then he then says some more because then he then says, facts, I already know. Now I hear he wants to expose me, whatever that means. Now, what is he talking about? Well, apparently Stephen A. Smith caught a whiff of what this man had to say. And he basically went out there to try to expose him. And he said, now, as for this dude, that's an entirely different story. You know how I feel about your story behind Terrell Owens, and you know why. You should thank your Heavenly Father having zeroed in on you with the trifling stuff you tried to pull. Tell folks at ESPN why you're desperate behind tried to pull up what you're desperate behind try to pull up. Keep on talking. Eventually, you will expose yourself. Real facts. But he didn't stop. There. He then continues on by saying, or maybe I'll just dedicate the entire Stephen A. Smith show /podcast on YouTube this Monday, the Monday that just passed, to all the things you tried to do behind the scenes to brothers over the years while claiming someone is more of a brother than others. Let me think about this over the next 24 hours. Sick of this. Enough. He then says that. He then goes on after Kyrie Irving jumps in and says, what did he say? He said, can y'all call each other like grown, mature men and clear out there with all of this extra social media back and forth? Get what you need off your chest and move on. Stephen A. Smith then responds and says, respectfully, bro, you don't know the whole story. I have nothing to say to his sorry, pathetic behind. But that doesn't mean you're wrong. You are right, bro. I'm man enough to admit that. That's what Stephen A. Smith says. Then Terrell Owens basically saw what he had to say, and he responded by basically saying, nah, expose me. You said you're going to expose me. Expose me. He said, don't stand down now. I'll be sorry and pathetic. Be sure to keep that same energy when you see me next time. You see, I'm not intimidated by you because I have because you have a platform and a loud mouth to claim that you're going to allegedly expose me about something. It seems to me that you're the one being exposed. Please expose me. Let us know what you got. I, along with everyone, will be waiting. I don't bother nobody. I'm just me. And if you don't like me, that's a personal problem. That's what Terrell Owens had to say. And then he said a few other things. So then after Stephen A. Smith said that he's not going to expose him, he then goes on his show and does what? Basically starts dry snitching all over Terrell Owens, bringing up things from his past, showing up there with files. I don't know where this guy gets these files, just like the Lonzo Ball story. I don't know where this guy gets all this information from. But anyway, he shows up with all of these files, and he basically goes at Terrell Owens. He throws rocks behind his hands. He's like, well, I didn't really say anything. I could have gone in much more. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that. But I didn't really say anything. You spent 27 minutes allegedly not saying anything about the guy. That's allegedly what happened. So then what happens? Terrell Owens, who I wasn't sure was going to respond to what Stephen A. Smith did, actually did. I went to his Twitter, yesterday night, and he actually did. He said this about 11 hours ago. He said, Stephen A., yawning. Like I said, I'm not worried about being exposed because there's nothing. Number one, I didn't put up that post that I responded to. It was a retweet, genius, that I commented on, and I stand on that. Number two, I don't lie. And as far as all those players, GMs, NFL, PA, that you claim to have reached out to, so what? Guess what? I've had players and people to reach out to me too. What does that statement even mean? If I've done something so wrong, then why hasn't it been all over the news? I don't chirp. I don't claim to be a badass. I don't bother nobody. You alluding to that I'm desperate because an attorney reached out to me about an ESPN situation. I don't play victim like you say, but it is what it is. But I want you to keep the same energy you're giving to all the people about sorry and pathetic when you see me. You got files. Files of what? Have I been to jail? Did I commit a crime or something that the world is missing? If this is your way of trying to expose me, then good try. I'm not worried. As always, God got me. He then said, he didn't finish there. He said, holding up papers, talking about you got files of stuff on me. As long as no courthouses and no police statements don't have anything to do with me, I'm good. And even if they did, ninja, so what? Miss me with that baloney. Your alleged files of people that don't like me because I stand and stood up for myself because of clowns like you that talk bad about us black athletes like Kyrie, Kaepernick, Durant, etc. for the networks in their direction to get yourself a paycheck. So that's basically what he said there. I think at this point, Stephen A. Smith should just let it go. He should just let it go. Because he gonna dry snitch, say one thing, not really say the whole thing, and then we're gonna be up here. Like those files, for example. You held up those files. What are on those files? Nobody knows. So why'd you bring them? You said you're coming to not expose him, but then you come with files and then not say what are on the files. So why did you bring the files? These are the things that people are talking about, man. These are the things that people are talking about. Like, enough is enough with it. Let's just move on. I don't think anyone is winning in this situation. And I think Stephen A. Smith is looking bad because he's looking like a bully. Because he's the one that went at Max Kellerman, and this guy just responding to something that was posted, retweeted. So these are my thoughts. What I want to know from you guys is simply this. How do you see this thing playing out? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And we catch you on the next show. Peace.